Hello, and thank you for joining me for the ninth Data Analysis Bootcamp class. Okay. Uh, so this one we're going to talk about this. It's so important to understand this concept. We're going to explore hypothesis testing, but using hacker statistics. Okay. I never really understood hypothesis testing until I understood this, and you can really just see why and how it works and why we need it. But it's a really important concept to understand because we have randomness baked into every data set that we collect because we never collect the population. And so we always have a little bit of random effect of this sampling included in our data. We really need to appreciate that in our data analysis. Okay. Before we get started with our data analysis class number 9, let's go recap the mnemonics from the last class. Okay, so in our last class of in our 8th class of the Data Analysis Bootcamp, we discussed the histogram plot in Plotly, which, as I said, is just a really kind of cool, lots of the things that you can do with it. One of them being you can decide instead of having each bin being filled up with the count of data that you see, you can have it being filled up with the average, median, max of another column and really start to inspect that bivariate relationship in really a way that's kind of unique. You can also, a feature that I love is that you can put the box plot with a very simple calling the argument on the top that allows really for you to, if you're in a truncate or treat your outliers, allows you just to quickly understand exactly at what level you should be able to do. So it's a good time saver as well to use this histogram plot. Okay. We also then discussed the violin plot, and although I did mention that I like the Seaborn version a little bit better, I think that one thing that's cool here is that we can stack these plots on top of each other, layer them, so that we can really start to just really highlight what's different about each one of these distributions. Okay, so we discussed the Seaburst plot. Okay, the Seaburst plot is one of the few plots that allows you really high level detail understanding of your categories. It's really good for categorical analysis. Okay, they just it seems to work well in the sense that you're able to do the hierarchical groupings and really understand of this category what's also included in the next level, what proportions of this other category are in this one, how what is the interaction between these two categories. And that is truly a really important thing. It's not something that you can do really in any other way except for in the tree plot we talked about that allows us to really group, gives us more space versus the sunburst plot. We can still go pretty deep into it and understand a lot of extra detail and explore our data a little bit further like we can with the seaburst plot. Almost more with the tree map. The tree map works good when you have lots of classes in your category and you need to group them by those classes. Or so you have so many classes in your category, you just need lots of space for them to all group, all fit in the plot, so you can kind of analyze them still. Okay. We also discussed the heat map plot or the density heat map plot, which allows you to, along with the density contour plot, allows you to explore the bivariate relationship, especially useful when you have lots of data and really understanding what's supporting the trends that you're seeing. A really cool feature about the heat map plot is that it allows you to do the marginal X and marginal Y across the top and the side to really give you, you can do a box plot, a histogram to give you a better sense of the data, making it almost like the joint plot in Seaborn. We also discussed, I think I just mentioned this is one of my favorite plots at this point is the 3D scatter plot with Plotly. Not only because it's cool, I thought it was just going to be cool, but it actually allows you some really detailed analysis that because you can pivot around and kind of walking inside your data, you just get a really good sense of the data. You get a really good sense of the relationship and for other things that you might not have noticed in other ways. And that's one of the things we'll cover in this class, just something that I noticed as I was using it in this building this class and something that I was able to correct in the data that I noticed up until this point. So it's really interesting, really allows for a lot of detailed analysis, and there are some really good, you get lots of control over the different arguments that control the styling, the shape, the color of your plot. Okay. The line plot, the 3D line plot, is also a great one for really understanding the time series relationships. We're going to compare two time series together, understanding a really detailed analysis of that relationship. The choropleth plot is really great for doing highlighting regional patterns. So if you wanted to say inspect the world or a globe or a country, this would be a good plot to highlight which regions have different values. Really, the only option when you have one of these plots, it's kind of more of a pretty unique situation where you need to do this, but when you need to, you have the choropleth plot in Plotly.